Billionaire dreams. I know niggas who played ball and gave it up for lean.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams, but my account in overdraft, I'm about to scream.
Rich man greed,
a poor man prayers.
Every man bleeds,
but look how God made us.
Too many losses, it's only right that we win.
Notification bell so you get notified every time your boy go live, you heard? So today, man, we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to tap in with Jesse Waters. We're going to break down how the Democrats are basically breaking themselves, making themselves look so foolishly, man. I was going to play Caroline Leavitt's press briefing that she had. She was kind of going into the Jeffrey Epstein thing, but Jesse Waters kind of goes into it anyway, so I'm just going to play that because Trump just signed a bill to reopen the government, so we're going to tap into that first. And then, let me see. Oh, okay. So, and then we're going to end the show with an interview that N.G.L.A. Stanton had on Live with Clarissa. It was a great interview, and it's an insight on, two black women having a conversation, but more importantly, N.G.L.A. Stanton was basically pardoned by Trump. Not basically, she was pardoned by Trump. And, she has done a lot for the community, the black community. And she just keeps it real. And I liked the interview, so I wanted to play it. So we're going to tap in and get into that. So let's get into this. Trump basically reopening the government by signing this bill. We're going to tap into that first and talk about it.
Lord American taxpayers for hundreds of billions of dollars for illegal aliens and people that came into our country illegally, from gangs, from prisons, from mental institutions. They wanted to pay them $1.5 trillion, which would have really hurt our healthcare businesses and our recipients at levels never seen before. Today, we're sending a clear message that we will never give in to extortion, because that's what it was. They tried to extort. The Democrats tried to extort our country. In just a moment, I'll sign a bill exactly like we asked Democrats to send us all along, many days ago. This cost the country $1.5 trillion, this little excursion that they took us on. Republicans never wanted a shutdown and voted 15 times for a clean continuation of funding. There's never been a time when one or the other party ever didn't sign a continuation. It's just a continuation, not a big deal. It's a continuation, and we'll talk later. Yet the extremists in the other party insisted on creating the longest government shutdown in American history, and they did it purely for political reasons. I want to thank Speaker Mike Johnson, Senate Majority Leader John Thune, as well as House Majority Leader Steve Scalise, Majority Whip Tom Emmer, and numerous other great Republican leaders and congressmen and senators who are here and who frankly spent a long time in Washington getting this thing to go away. I also want to thank the broad coalition of Americans that stood with us in this fight to reopen government, including the Teamsters, the American Federation of Government Employees, the Fraternal Order of Police, AMVETS, the National Small Business Association, the American Farm Bureau, the American Trucking Association. These are all incredible patriots. The Airlines for America, the Allied Pilots Association, the National Air Traffic Controllers Association, and many, many others, unions and non-unions. Over the past 7 weeks, the Democrats' shutdown has inflicted massive harm. They caused 20,000 flights to be canceled or delayed. They departed so many times, so late. People were hurt so badly. Nobody's ever seen anything like this one. This was a no-brainer. This was an easy extension. But they didn't want to do it the easy way. They had to do it the hard way. And they look very bad, the Democrats do. They deprived more than 1 million government workers from their paychecks and cut off food stamp benefits for millions and millions more Americans in need. They caused tens of thousands of federal contractors and small businesses to go unpaid, and the total effect of the damage their antics caused will take weeks and probably months to really calculate accurately, including the serious harm that they did to our economy and to people and to families. So I just want to tell the American people, you should not forget this. When we come up to midterms and other things, don't forget what they've done to our country. I also want to call for a termination to the filibuster so that this can never happen again. If we had the filibuster terminated, this would never happen again. And don't.
Yeah, it's crazy because I thought with them opening up the government, I thought that he would, well, not he per se, but they would, you know, the filibuster whole conversation was going to go to the side. But I'm actually happy he brought that up because it's important. Because if they get rid of the filibuster, Trump will be able to do everything that he wants to do. If not, he's going to have a hard time like he's been doing this whole 10 months. Even though he's been getting a lot of things across the finish line, it's still just the fact that he has to go through it all. You know, dealing with these corrupt judges and just the Democrats in general. Like, we know that these people are, at this point, bro, they're just unhinged. I don't even know what else they have to do for people to wake up and realize, like, these people truly don't give a fuck about you. And I believe a lot of Republicans too. But the things that Donald Trump is doing, they're working. You know what I mean? Even with the tariffs and all of that, people can say what they want. They said that we was going to a full-blown recession. We're not in a recession. They said the stock market was going to crash and all. It didn't crash. Everything stayed. Honestly, the stock market was doing better than it had did in the last 5 years. So you can't believe nothing that these people say at this point. This politics shit is really getting out of hand, to be honest.
Don't forget, we have another date coming up in the not too distant future. We can never let this happen again, and we should be able to pass really great legislation. So I say terminate the filibuster because, by the way, the Democrats will do it immediately if they ever assumed office, which hopefully they won't. Today we had the highest stock market price ever in all of the different markets. We set a record. It's the 48th time in the 9 months that I've been in office that we had this record set. So think of that, 48 times we had a record set, but today is the highest of them all. We're going to break new grounds. Nobody would have thought. I have with us not only the great political leaders, but the great business leaders of our country. They're standing right behind me and right really alongside of me. And if we would have told them a year ago that we'd be having stock prices this high, none of them, in fact, I just asked them that question, none of them would have believed it. And that inures to jobs and, very importantly, to 401ks, which have also set a record today, a record high for the people that have 401ks. And also, I want to thank Walmart because they came up with a fantastic study. It was the cost of Thanksgiving coming up and the cost of Thanksgiving from a year ago under Sleepy Joe Biden, and we're 25% lower this year than we were a year ago. And it's a very inclusive report, so I want to thank Walmart. They've done it for many years, but we believe in that, and we believe in that company. I want to also thank the 8 Senate Democrats who finally did the right thing in voting to end this craziness, this madness, but unfortunately the vast majority of congressional Democrats were happy for millions of Americans to suffer. They really did suffer too. And the Democrats admitted, they said, well, no, we finally have a point. Even though people have to suffer, we finally have a point, and that didn't work out too well for them. But they really went out and they could appease the fringe benefits of their far-left base, but that didn't work out because now their far-left base is angrier than ever before. We actually elected a mayor of New York City who happens to be a communist. When was that going to happen? Remember, I said all the time during my campaign, we will never be a socialist country. And that's right. We turned out to have a communist in New York City. And if you look at his views, those are the views of a communist, not a socialist. So this is no way to run a country. I hope we can all agree that the government should never be shut down again. Again, end the filibuster, terminate the filibuster. It'll never happen again. So with my signature, the federal government will now resume normal operations, and my administration and our partners in Congress will continue our work to lower the cost of living, restore public safety, grow our economy, and make America affordable again for all Americans. Again, costs are way down. Energy is way down. Gasoline is at $2.50 a gallon versus $4.70 for the Democrats. And we think we're going to hit pretty close to $2 a gallon. That's like a really massive tax cut. It's the equivalent of that. And speaking of tax cuts, our great, big, beautiful bill is giving everybody in our economy, middle income workers, low income, everybody, the biggest tax cut in the history of our country. And it's no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, and very importantly, no tax on overtime. You work overtime, there's no tax. That's among the things that add up to the biggest tax cut in history. And one other thing, you hear about rich people with deductions. Well, when you buy your car and you borrow money, you're allowed to now deduct the interest on that loan. So you can take that interest deduction and what you can take is that interest payment and deduct it for income tax purposes. That's a tremendous tax cut right there. But it all includes fixing the healthcare system that Democrats broke with the disaster known as Obamacare. Obamacare was a disaster from day one. It's done nothing but go up. And if you remember President Barack Hussein Obama, when he came up with this crazy idea, he said everything's going to be great. Rates are going to go down. Payments are going to go down. Everything's going to go down. It went the exact opposite, with the biggest increase of healthcare in any country. It's a disaster. And I'm calling today for insurance companies not to be paid, but for the money, this massive amount of money, to be paid directly to the people of our country so that they can buy their own health care, which will be far better and far less expensive than the disaster known as Obamacare. And I've had, I think, great support. I've even had Democrat support. So we want the money that would be going to the insurance company, which is hundreds of billions of dollars. Their stock prices have gone up by 1,000% in many cases, 1,000% over a short period of time, because our country stupidly pays them so much money with this Obamacare scandal. So I want the money to go directly to you, the people. And
so, real quick, everything that he just said within that minute or two, it's all things that directly benefit Americans. You could say what you want. You could break down every little thing that you have a problem with in the one big beautiful bill. But for the average American, they don't care about politics, bro. I'm just being honest. Everybody can get out here and they're going to vote. They're going to do their job and vote, and they're going to do certain things. But they really, truly don't care about politics. They care about finances. Like me and my fiance, we just was talking about moving out of Jersey, because it's getting unaffordable to live here. So we looking, to move to a different state, preferably where it's more affordable at. And we're looking to do that this year. And the things that he's doing is going to benefit us. When you're working and you put in that overtime, instead of them taking it, you're going to be able to get it and put it in your pocket. And that extra money, that can go in your savings. When the last time any of you was able to save money, really? It's hard to save money right now because things are extremely high. A lot of people blew through their savings during COVID and so forth. I just don't understand why Democrats just don't admit that Joe Biden fucked the economy up. And we use Joe Biden, he was the president, right? But he was just the pawn. He wasn't even the president, bro. He wasn't even there. They was propping him up. Let's be honest. This was all Democrats. It was many of them, not just Obama. They all was involved in ruining the country. And me personally, I think they had something to do with COVID. That's just, my conspiracy. You can call it that if you want. But it's for me, right before the election, Trump's economy was doing good. Everybody will say, well, it was Obama's economy. But you still have to keep it up, period. Even with COVID, the economy still wasn't that bad when Trump was in office. It wasn't until Joe Biden got in and his whole administration ruined everything. So yeah, you could say when Obama was in office, the economy was steady. It was good. And then Trump came in to a good economy, and he kept it that way. And that's why this time in 2024, people voted for Trump because they was tired of the bullshit. People just care about their money. They care about their families, just regular shit. They don't care about politics. I'm just being honest. And I didn't either until shit started changing and getting so expensive that it make you look around like, yo, what the fuck is going on, bro? And this what made me get into the whole politic atmosphere and even talking about it, because people need to wake up, bro. You need to wake up. And I just don't see anything that Trump is doing and that is affecting Americans. Because, oh, tariffs, it's a tax on the... How is it a tax when it's bringing in money, when it's bringing in revenue? Now, people will say, oh, you know, he's giving you a check to cover up. He might be. I don't care. Let me get that $2,000. What Joe Biden give you? That's my whole thing, bro. At the end of the day, bro, the government is what it's going to be, bro. Y'all wanted government, y'all got it. Y'all want big government, you got it. So this is the things you got to deal with. We got elections, we got to vote. People going to be in there. They either going to do a good job or they not. My thing is, Trump is the president. He's making policies. He's running shit. And the things that he's doing, I'm liking it. I voted for it. Period. And you just gotta go with the shit, to be honest. But it's just crazy, bro. People put too much into politics. And that's why I want to get into the interview with because I kind of feel the way she feels, Angela Stanton, how she feels about politics. I feel the same way. It's like, yo, stop being a slave to this shit. Like, we need to come together more as Americans and worry about America first. And then everything else is secondary. But we'll get into that. Let's finish this.
You go out and you'll buy your own health insurance and you'll negotiate different plans and you'll get much better insurance and you will be an entrepreneur for yourself. So I'm always willing to work with anyone, including the other party. We'll work on something having to do with health care. We can do a lot better. We can do great. So much money is involved, and we're willing to pay so much money to the people. So we're going to pay a lot of money to the people. They're going to go out and buy their own health care, and we're going to forget this Obamacare madness. So with all of that, I just want to tell you the country has never been in better shape. We went through this short-term disaster with the Democrats because they thought it would be good politically. And it's an honor now to sign this incredible bill and get our country working again. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. I don't know if you have questions. I think we really have a really great situation. We have a country that we love, and we have a country that's in great shape. As you know, we have now it's over $18 trillion invested in our country by other people and countries. That's a record. There's never been a country that had so much, and that money's going into also building new auto plants, new AI plants, new everything. We've never had a time like this. Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate it.
You're not gonna get no question. Yeah, Trump, funny, bro. Also, another thing, man, it's one thing that Trump is doing. It's like, to a degree, I understand it, but I also don't like it. Also. So basically, with all the new investments and things like that, into the AI space and spaces that got to do with engineering and things like that. So what he's talking about doing is, so the whole HB1 visa, they was talking about doing away with it, and a lot of people were happy about getting rid of it, but Trump is saying now that he's going to keep it, and they say upwards of like 600,000 basically foreign workers that are in them spaces are going to be, they say temporarily, but we don't know if that's going to be true or not. But we know that they want these billionaires and these people that run these companies, they want cheap labor. And the real reason they want to get these 600,000 or however many workers that are in these STEM fields, but they really are getting them because they want to pay them less wages than rather than paying Americans to do the job. But there is Americans that can do the job. And I believe that I don't necessarily say get rid of the H-1B visa, because I mean, you still could have people that can come to this country and work in STEM and things like that, and be a part of the economy and part of these business. But at the same time, it's taken away from Americans that can be in these STEM jobs. So I don't really agree with it to a degree. I understand the temporary part because they're saying that basically that there's a lot of things that we haven't done in years, like build ships and build certain things that they were talking about. Maybe I'll play it tomorrow. RJ Talks, he's one of the guys I play a lot. He went into it, but he kind of goes into more detail about it. So maybe I'll play it tomorrow. But it's like, to a degree, I understand it. But then again, I don't, because what's the sense of guys that are going to, women and men that are going into the STEM field, into these universities, getting this education, if they're not going to be able to get these jobs that are becoming available? And then you're giving it to foreigners, So I'll play it tomorrow so you can get some more details on it. So, I just wanted to put that out there because people think I just agree with every single thing that Trump does, and I don't. That's one of the things I don't agree with. I think that we should give them jobs to Americans, and that's going to boost our economy. I believe that everything that needs to be done in America, it should be America first and everything else secondary. Like everything. Everything should be America first. So even with social services and all of that, there's no way. Like when I seen that chart and I see illegal immigrants and legal immigrants getting more social services than actual U.S. born citizens, that's a problem for me. That's a problem for me, bro. I don't agree with that. I believe that U.S. born citizens, that means the homelessness, people that are addicts that need to go to rehab and get treatment, veterans, these are people that need them, single mothers and disabled people. These are the people that are U.S. born citizens should be getting social services at a higher level. We shouldn't have no homeless people in America, bro. We just shouldn't. Like, we really should not, bro. And this is why I say if we subtract all of the illegal immigrants that are here, the H-1B visas, and substitute that with American citizens, we can clean up the homelessness. We can pay our veterans, the disabled, the women that actually need it, men that actually need it. And things would be better in America, bro. It'd be less homelessness. It'd be less, crime, and it'll help so much. But we gotta get there. You're not gonna agree with everything. But let's get on to this next segment with Jesse Waters.
Agrees with the so-called nipple Nazi, the Congresswoman from Queens, who was told by Nancy Pelosi years ago not to make mischief inside the tent. But Nancy's out of commish. So AOC put the word out to every Bolshevik in America: run, Forrest, run.
This problem is bigger than one person, and it actually is bigger than the minority leader in the Senate. We actually do have Senate elections this year, and my hope is that people across this country actually participate in their primary elections in selecting their leadership.
See how she tried to skirt off? Listen, understand something, bro. Everybody knew. It wasn't a secret. Everybody said it. Mike Johnson said it. It was said. Even Caitlin Collins asked her when they were on CNN doing a town hall, "Were you looking to take Chuck Schumer's spot?" And she, Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, no. Okay. Now she's talking about everybody should go out and vote. Yeah. Like, everybody knows, bro. It's not a secret. The game is the game that they play is so basic. It's so basic and regular, like, bro, you see it a mile away. It's shit weak.
The commies want to wave a hammer and sickle in every district. Bernie said it. 40 senators are just too moderate. He wants them primaried and gonzo. Same thing in the House. Jerry Nadler has soiled his last trouser and isn't running for re-election. So JFK's grandson wants his seat. And let's just say he's not giving Camelot.
I was a bad boy this weekend. I did some really bad stuff. I can't wait to tell you guys about it later. That's Jay Powell, Janet Yellen, Pitbull.
He's 32, and his only real job was working for Vogue.
Bro, this shit is out of control, bro. Oh, my God.
He's as qualified as Mondami, so why not? This is what the Democrat Party's turning into.
Word is born.
The Kennedys are putting on lipstick, and the new Messiah wears a pantsuit.
Jasmine Crockett is actually what the Democrats should be leaning into, like, because she is a phenomenal messenger. And some people just got it. Like, some people just have a different anointing on them. She is the most effective messenger that the Democratic Party has right now. And they need to be using her as a Trojan horse.
Hey, yo, Charlemagne is a fucking joke, bro. Charlemagne gotta stop, bro. Like, them checks must be hefty, bro. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. They gotta be hefty, bro. This nigga crazy, bro. He said that she is the most qualified. At what? At what? Being fake? Jasmine Crockett is annoying, bro. All of them, first of all, none of them have no messaging. They don't talk about no solutions. None of them. It's every single thing that every Democrat right now stands for. It's literally Trump. That's it. Whatever Trump says, we're going to say the opposite, and then we're going to try to find any and everything to go against Trump. That's all of their plans. That's all they care about is Trump. Trump, Trump, Trump. No solutions. They don't have nothing. Name one time you heard Jasmine Crockett bring something to the table that sounded good, great, anything. Legislation. Didn't she say, if I'm not mistaken, that she didn't even pass no legislation because she was focused on Trump? I think that was her that said that.
I don't think Charlemagne knows what a Trojan horse is. Crockett's supposed to jump out of the Trojan horse, not be one. Anyway. But Trader Kane's putting lipstick on a pig.
It doesn't seem like some of the party is just angry about this. It seems like this is ripping the party apart at a time where it felt like the party was coming back together post-elections.
Can I just say, ripping the party apart? I think you're over-dramatizing this. If you're not subscribed. I mean, I know the news business is to try to make everything like the biggest crisis.
Did Kane just say a woman was being dramatic? Careful, buddy. You're already on thin ice. Hips isn't calling it a crisis either. He says the shutdown was a win.
Over the last several weeks, we have elevated successfully the issue of the Republican health care crisis, and we're not backing away from it.
If this was a win, why does everybody...
Yo, this is my thing, bro. Democrats literally, bro. I can't think of the Democrat, his name off the top, bro. Matter of fact, I'm going to find a video, bro. The Democrats know that the Obamacare sucks. They even admitted it. They know that it's not good. But remember, projection is real. They want to make you believe that Trump wants to take care of his millionaire and billionaire friends. And maybe to a degree he does. Because if they're investing business back in America, and they weren't at one point, and he's bringing them back, of course he's going to make it enticing for them to bring their business back to America. But they just want to give money. They just want to give your money to these insurance companies for this Obamacare, ACA subsidies, bro. It's stupid as hell, bro. These people lie so much, it's crazy.
Everybody wants Schumer's head to roll. Democrats are in such a free-for-all.
I gotta find this video.
All they could do to distract from the Schumer shutdown cover-up is leak Epstein emails. So they're going to force a vote to release everything the government has on Jeffrey Epstein.
We need to respect tribal sovereignty in our environment. We need to stand up for LGBTQ+ rights, because that's what the American people expect us to do.
No, we
Fight
don't.
for them. That is.
No, we don't, bro. You think average American gives a fuck about LGBTQ rights, bro? No, we don't. We don't give two shits about it. I'm just being honest, bro. Nobody cares about that shit. Y'all forcing that shit on people. Y'all forcing people because people don't want to lose their jobs and things like that. Nobody cares about it, bro. If you listen, bro, you want to do what you do what you do. But don't try to make it seem like everybody is down with it, because they're not, bro. Nobody, they just don't care. It's nothing to care about. What you do in your spare time and in your bedrooms and shit like that, that's your business. They trying to force this thing on everybody, putting flags in classrooms and all of this nonsense, bro. Like, yo, these people are crazy. I don't see how y'all vote for this, bro.
Why I will sign the discharge petition right now to release the Epstein files.
Democrats are fighting harder for the Epstein files than they did to pay the troops. And the House just got their hands on about 20,000 Epstein emails. And what's the first thing Democrats did when they woke up? They leaked 3. Just 3 out of 20,000.
Out of 20,000,
and it backfired.
Did the president ever spend hours at Jeffrey Epstein's house with a victim?
These emails prove absolutely nothing other than the fact that President Trump did nothing wrong. I think it's a question worth asking the Democrat Party, and you should all go ask them after this briefing, of why they chose to redact that name of a victim who has already publicly made statements about her relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and is unfortunately no longer with us.
That's right. Democrats redacted a woman's name and called her victim, but the victim's dead. Her name is Virginia, and she already testified under oath that Trump did nothing wrong. What a sleazy leak.
Bro,
while they're shutting down.
Bro, they don't have anything. They don't have anything. This is my thing. This Jeffrey Epstein thing is like, bro, it's just a talking point. They had the files, bro. They already had it. They had it for 4 years. 4 years. They hate Trump. Like, they hate this dude with every ounce of hate that you can have in your body. They hate Trump. You think they have all of these Epstein files for 4 years and they don't release any of it. Now, all of a sudden, they care so much about the Epstein files. Bro, it's a joke. It's just all to play on you, to make you care about it, to make you think Trump is a pedophile and all of this goofy shit. So when you go to in the midterms or when the election comes up, you vote Democrat. That's all they care about. They want to make sure that when these elections come around, you hate Republicans just enough to vote for Democrats. That was the whole shutdown. That's what that was for. They literally lied about it. I don't even want to repeat it. It's so dumb. You needed 60 votes. Democrats had to vote in order to open the government up. Did you not just see the news? They opened the government up. They got nothing for it. They shut it down for 43 days for nothing. And 8 Democrats voted on the CR bill to reopen the government. So they lied to you about that. For what? To make sure, even though it was Democrat states, but to just make sure, because they're so scared of Trump that, you know, like they're that scared of the guy and he has that much influence on politics that they wanted to make sure. They needed you to go out and make sure you voted for these Democrat candidates because they don't want to lose seats. They know they're losing. That's the whole thing. Trump is winning, they're losing. And they know they're losing. And they'll say anything, they'll do anything. Bro, these people, it's the scariest thing, is that they're willing to do anything. They already done took the shot. Once. They attempted to do it twice. Like, bro, these people are lunatics. And who told you that? Trump. Trump told you fake news. He told you that these news stations are fake news. He told you that. And now everybody is all of a sudden opening their eyes to the fact that these media stations are fake news. Like, bro, open your fucking eyes.
The government to give illegal aliens health care. They're all getting paid. They're all allowed to insider trade. These are the kinds of swampy tactics that make us lose all respect for these freaks. They create a crisis, so no one gets paid, people can't eat, and no one can fly. And now they're like, oh, here's a fake Epstein email. What a joke.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to...
Shout out to them. So I want to play this joint 2 seconds, real quick, because like this is how much they lie, bro. They don't care, bro. They just truly don't. Now, I just wanted to play this clip real quick.
I owe you an answer on why it is I'm standing here today asking to extend something that was temporary. And here's the reason. We did fail to bring down the cost of health care. I owe you an answer on why.
So it's a quick joint. They had a longer one. If you want to go see it, you can look it up. C-SPAN. Just look up. I don't even know this guy's name, to be honest with you. Let me see. I can find it. But you can look it up, bro. Just look up Democrat admits that Obamacare sucks. But he admitted it. You know, like that's all I'm saying is like this guy admitted that, you know, that number one, it was supposed to be temporary, and that's why it is, and it ends this year, and that it sucks. That it didn't do what they alleged that it was going to do, even though we know they knew it wasn't going to do that. They didn't care. They just wanted to take your money and give it to their millionaire and billionaire friends, you know, so they could benefit, and then they was getting kickbacks. Listen, bro, Obama, I would love to see how much what his bank account looked like before he became the president or before he even got into politics. Like, I know now he's sitting heavy. He got like $17 million homes. Like, he's sitting super heavy. He's not worried about you. Trust me. Shit hits the fan, he's gone. You know what I'm saying? But Obama's good. Nancy Pelosi is good. All of these Republicans and Democrats, most of them are good. You know, there's some good ones on both sides. But, bro, this politics shit is all about robbing you. How can we rob you, keep you where you can, you know, pay your little rent, get a little car, go on a little vacation? But we don't really want you to succeed. So we're going to keep taxing you. You know what I mean? And keep taxing you. They got a bag. They making us pay for bags. You can't even go to Wawa and buy some potato chips and a drink and get a bag no more, bro. And this shit, 37 cents for a bag at Wawa. Think about how much money they getting off of that, bruh. And we just be taking it. Like, it's none. And y'all worrying about the Epstein files. They raping us. Listen, bro, them little cents add up, bro. They add up. Everything is extremely, bro, it's out of control, bro. That's why I'm getting the fuck out of Jersey, bro. This Democratic state shit is insane. But anyway, let's get into this interview with N.G.L.A. Stanton. Shout out to her, man. Dope female. She is a black female who I would consider that falls under the category of black excellence. She's dope. She's just dope. Let's get into it.
This is a Big Facts Network exclusive.
Why you didn't ask Donald Trump for our reparations, Queen?
Why y'all ain't asked Joe Biden and Kamala for reparations?
Some of us can be a lot closed-minded. We're diehard Democrats. We won't associate with the Republican Party.
But we need to understand that while we are fighting to reunite families at the border, shit, we need to reunite the families in the border, our own families.
What's your thoughts for both Planned Parenthood and mothers across the U.S.?
I want every Planned Parenthood across the nation closed down.
How can we fix that area where, you know, they're going to have these babies like without men with them?
Supporting black women is create organizations like the one I created, Auntie Angie's House, right?
But if a woman really just doesn't feel like she's ready to have a child?
Close your legs, suck dick, swallow.
I know you're literally fighting.
Yo, this is why I fuck with her, bro. I love her, bro. She dope as hell. She just keep it real, and that's all I care about. Just keeping it real, bro. She keeps it
very hard battle because
it's more than abortion. Like, during the DNC, they took a whole Hot Wheels abortion bus to Chicago and was performing live abortions on site.
How do you think?
Now, mind you, we're going to get into it, but I just want to, not even a spoiler, but she just said that. And I just want to talk about that real quick because a lot of people don't know that. Like, Believe it or not, even though they literally said it. They actually showed it. They literally showed it. They had a big ass balloon penis and like, bro, these people are weird. They're demons, bro. They're demonic. It's satanic, bro. Seriously, like they literally were giving out abortions at the DNC, bro. How demonic can you get? Like, come on, bro. Like, what are we talking about? And a lot of people, when I say that, they be like, word. Like, even her, the host, she was like, for real, like she didn't know. Because we don't, like, bro, people just don't be in tune at all.
I think she would have turned out as a president if she would have got into the office instead of Trump.
Man, I think we would have lost a whole generation.
Everyone's talking about my new talk show, Live with Carisha. We shoot live on Thursdays in Atlanta. It's amazing. What are you waiting for? Tap in.
So welcome to the Live with Carisha show, Queen. Before we get into the nitty gritty, because we're going to get into the nitty gritty.
Oh, I thought it was, I got to change that. I said Clarisha. It's Carisha. That's my bad.
What would you say is the #1 threat to the black community?
Politics.
Oh, okay. Dive in, explain.
I mean, because we need to be people over party. I think a lot of us are divided because we want to choose a party and we become party over people. Yeah. It's time for us to break away from Republican side, Democrat side altogether. We need to be independent in our thinking, and we need to vote for and put people in position that have receipts and have shown us that they're willing to invest in our community. So we all need to be people over party.
Yo, I've said this. I had a whole segment on people being slaves to the party, bro. And I totally agree with that 1,000%. And that's what's fucking shit up, period. In the black community too, but in America in general, is that everybody is on this whole Democrat, Republican thing, when it should just be America first. And, the party, it should just be based on who is best. Because if a Democrat comes along, this is a fact. If a Democrat comes along and they align with my morals, my principles, my standards as a man, then I'm going to vote for them. If they, got a track record of doing, what they say they're going to do and things like that, and their policies make sense, and like I said, they align with what I believe in, then I'm going to vote for them. I don't care what letter is in front of your name. I don't care. It's just all about what. I don't align with LGBTQ. I just don't. It doesn't align with my religion. It doesn't align with me as a person, as a man. I don't care about abortion. I love my kids. I didn't want to abort them. Like, what I'm saying? So it doesn't align with me, and that's me. And what your opinion is your opinion, and you're entitled to that. But that's what you should focus on. People that are aligned with what you believe in. And the Democratic Party today doesn't align with most people. And they won't admit it because they don't want to lose their job and all of this goofy shit. Like people like Charlemagne. Like Charlemagne acts like, bro, these people, you're not going to tell me all of them agree with a lot of this stuff that's going on, bro. You're not going to sit here and tell me they do. But they'll go along with it for the check, for the money. They don't want to get canceled and all of that stuff. And that's fine, cool. Keep your day job. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, bro, I'm not going to agree to certain. My thing is I just don't have to talk about it. You know what I mean? Like I don't care enough to talk about it. You know what I mean? I just don't align with that. So I think what she said is dope. It's fire. People over party.
I like that. So you're not agreeing with the Democrat, Republican Party, neither one of them.
I've done it all. I grew up Democrat, then I became a Republican, and then I went with RFK, and I'm independent, and I love being independent because it allows me to critique both sides. It allows me to see the good and the bad in both sides, and it also allows me to stay grounded, to realize that I'm in this because of the people, not because of a party.
I like that. Very well said. I can definitely agree with you on that one. Now, before we go further, in your earlier days, it was your godmom who encouraged you to go talk to Donald Trump. Now, many people in our community were very, some of us can be a lot closed-minded. We're diehard Democrats. We won't associate with the Republican Party. We probably wouldn't even go meet Donald Trump if we were told to go meet him. So how do you think your life would have changed if you never went to go take your godmom's advice and go meet with him?
Well, for one, I got my total freedom through that, because one of the reasons that we are bound as a people is because we're caught up in this criminal justice system. So it's like, you know, you could go to prison and serve your time, something you did when you was 19, and turn around and you 40 years old and it's still impacting you. So if we ever truly want to be free as a people, we need to make sure that our name is out of their system, and we need to make sure that we're financially literate. So I think my life changed in a lot of ways, because whether people liked it or not, it did give me a platform, and it did show me in another light. I mean, I am somebody from the hood. I went from the prison all the way to the palace. I mean, I grew up right in Summerhill, 306 Ormond Street. So the story in itself is amazing. And when you get a call to go sit down and have a conversation with the president, that's not something that you turn down, regardless if it's Trump or Biden or whoever. I just used my story to make a difference, and he did not only give me a full and unconditional pardon, but he changed the law. He made it illegal for them to chain women to the bed during childbirth, and I think that's something that benefits us all.
I totally agree. Yes. Make some noise. Well said.
This is how much disdain people have now. She said, make some noise. Like, people just don't want to clap for Trump. They feel like they're just like, it's like, yo, TDS is really real, bro. But yo, she gonna say a lot of like shit that I really truly fuck with, bro.
Those of y'all who don't know, she is also the founder of the American King Foundation, and she's a criminal justice advocate. So my question to you is, what policy changes do you believe are most urgently needed at the federal level to improve reentry and reduce mass incarceration?
Not just the federal level, but the state level as well. Like if I've been to prison and I've served my time and I'm free, and all of my fines are paid, and I've paid my debt to society, then why am I still being labeled as a convicted felon?
Facts, bro, facts. That is if that's one thing that they should change, bro, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Because what's the sense if you taking a sentence, right? You did a crime, they came to the table, you agreed, or you went to trial and lost. Either way, they gave you a set amount of time for this crime that you committed. You go down, you do your time, you serve it, you on probation, parole, you complete it, you pay your fines and everything, like I did. You know what I mean? And you still is labeled as a felon. And that's a problem, because you do all of that time just to come home, and then you still lose out on opportunity. You know what I mean? I lost out on 4 jobs, 4 drive. I specifically, when I came home, I wanted to get a driver's job. I got my license back, and I did that, and I was excited about that, because having your license is very important. And I went strictly to get a driver's job. I wanted to drive for FedEx or something like that, not CDLs, just like box trucks or like, you know, the little vans or whatever. And I got hired literally at 4 different jobs. They wanted me. They liked my attitude, everything. Background came back, I didn't get the job. You know what I mean? They was like, yo, if it was up to me, I'll give you the job type of situations. But, you know, so that does, it's like you still locked up in a sense. You know what I mean? It's definitely, that definitely should be changed. I fuck with that.
Be free, because what happens is when they walk around with these labels, then they put you in bars in handcuffs that just can't be seen by the physical eye. Facts. It still holds you back. So number 1 on the list for me is, once a person has completed their sentence and is done, they're done. Like, I should not still have to be labeled a convicted felon 20 years after I've paid my debt to society.
I agree. Clock it. What advice, in your own words, why do you feel like the incarceration rates are so high amongst black men?
We know why. I mean, it's because of the 94 crime bill that was written and passed by Joe Biden, mass incarceration. And then we also know that stereotypes are real and racism is real. Like, usually when you think about black people, you think, unfortunately, and I don't like to say this because I keep us uplifted all the time, but a lot of people, their mindset is when you see black, you think the lowest of the lowest, or sometimes when you see white, that white is supposed to be right, and that's not always the case. So definitely stereotypes and bills that have impacted us because of the color of our skin.
So the 95 crime bill was never reversed.
94 crime bill. It
94
was
crime bill.
reversed. It was reversed by President Trump with the passing of the First Step Act. And a lot of people don't know that, and the media does not tell that. But we need to understand that while we are fighting to reunite families at the border, shit, we need to reunite the families in the border.
Facts. But the one thing that she left out that I think is important, like what she said was truthful, and stereotypes, there is racism out there, profiling, but we get profiled because we commit the crimes, and I think it's important to hold us accountable at the same time. All of them things are true, bills and, even the war on drugs and stuff like that, they were all tools that they put in place to cause mass incarceration. You know what I mean? Because they knew the desperation of blacks needing money and things like that. And plus, the drugs were going to kill the community also. So they was killing two birds with one stone. They was killing the community, and then they was locking the community up, And then they put the Welfare Act in, which also, told women, if you want this, then you had to get the man out the home. So they put a lot of bills and a lot of things in place to hurt specifically the black community. I'm not ignorant to that. I understand that. But at the same time, today, not 1950s, 60s, today, a lot of us are signing up for the shit. You know what I mean? Like, niggas are signing up to be bums. Niggas signing up to go to jail. Like, I was one of them guys. You know what I'm saying? That's why I can speak on it. Like, I've been in and out of jail from 19 to 30. In and out, in and out, in and out. Then I did 2 bids. One for five with 85 and another with a 5 with a 1, but they made me max it out. They gave me a hit on parole. Parole gave me a hit. So I did 3.5 years off that one. So, but I was doing all the dumb shit, is what I'm saying. Like, nobody was making me do the dumb shit, And it wasn't until I really, what she's talking about, really realizing that, we signing up for this shit. You know what I mean? We, with the culture, we want to get high, drink, we want to get high, pop perks and all of this shit. And we think it's wavy, and all we really doing is putting ourselves in a state of mind to go out here and do all this demonic shit, to be honest with you. And then growing up, we looked up to the D-boy, you looked up to the nigga that was getting money in the hood. The nigga in the hood that was getting money was selling dope. So, even if you come up in a decent household, in the black community, I'm not saying everybody, I'm just saying, even if you grew up in a decent black neighborhood, right? One of the first things that you do to get money is sell drugs. Even if it ain't hard drugs, most niggas first time getting a little couple of dollars, they was selling their little weed in school or something like that. Like, that's just the mentality. It wasn't, oh, let me get a job. You know what I mean? It wasn't, like, I know little young boys that I tell now, like, yo, work. They be trying to be into the mix because we think that that's the only way to be cool, to be down, to be in. You know what I mean? With the culture is to sell drugs, to, slide on the ops, gang bang, and all of these different components. Now we just signing up for the dumb shit. And another thing that really made me change was, like, because I'm into history heavy. Like, I'm into the black history, like real black history, not this, what they teach you in school, just about Martin Luther King and a little bit about Malcolm X and stuff. Like, I'm talking about real black history. And, like, we really shit on us today, we really shit on our ancestors who actually got lynched for being black, actually went to prison just for being black. Or, for protesting and marching and doing them different things. Like, they went to jail not because they was out here committing crimes or doing dumb shit. They went to jail just for being black. They got killed just for being black. And they went through them things so we could have the privileges that we have today. And now, instead of us taking advantage of them opportunities and doing the things we supposed to do, because they lined us up for it, they went through the struggles for us to be where we're supposed to be today. Instead, we with all the dumb shit. All the dumb shit. So when she says what she's saying, I agree with it, right? Because I'm not ignorant to the things that were put in place to hurt us. But at the same time, you also got to put the accountability part in there. Like, we got to take accountability for the dumb shit that we be doing, that we glorify. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I would never tell on nobody because I don't know. It's just, you know, unfortunately, bro, it's just certain things that just stick with you. But I'm not even going to put myself in a situation where I would have to tell on somebody. But the fact that in our culture, we worrying about whether Young Thug is a rat and this nigga is, like, to me, that shit corny. Like, I think we should, like, set the bar way higher than that as far as, like, what we looking up to and what our kids is looking up to. Like, it's a little rant, but I think it was some gems in there.
Our own families.
Why do you feel like people aren't really marketing the good things that Trump has done? Because I didn't even know he reversed that car bill.
Because it's a political game, because they have to keep us controlled by our emotions. Because if I can control your emotion, then I can control your vote. If I can tell you that Donald Trump is a racist, then, and you believe that, then I can get you to vote for me regardless of what legislation I'm passing or pushing through, whether it benefits you or not. Because, like I said, they're voting for the person and not necessarily the party.
Well said. I want to change gears a little bit and talk about your time working under Robert F. Kennedy. Talk about your day-to-day duties with him as his advisor, right?
Yeah, not only advising him on certain issues, but helping to schedule some of his visits, doing some of his PR, helping to write some of his policies. More Choices, More Life was a policy that I was heavily involved in. Also making sure that not only he was educated, but that he went and got the information and educated me on what's happening with the maternal health crisis, making sure that that's something that they take up at the HHS. So for me, my life has been nothing short of amazing, to be able to have access to not only the King family, but the Trump family and the Kennedy family, regardless of how people feel about them. Those are three legacies, and all the work that I've done with each one of those people has been to better our community.
And do you still work for Robert F. Kennedy today?
I work directly with Robert F. Kennedy. Robert F. Kennedy has become kind of like my dad. I'm one of those kids he's just took up under his wing, and we developed a very personal relationship because he's worked most of his career, if you look up Robert F. Kennedy and who he is, has been spent on exposing medical apartheid and what they have done to our community, you know, through medical practices. So this is something that's very dear to his heart. And I was somebody that ran his Black engagement. He know how serious I am about the community, and I just love who he is. I love his family. I'm connected to his family, to the Trump family, to the King family. To know me is to love me, and regardless of what people say in the media, they are interested and invested in helping our communities get better.
And speaking of, very well said, speaking of the media, I watched a past interview that you did with Roland Martin, where you guys were debating a commercial ad during the Trump campaign. So my question to you is, I feel like you guys got into a debate about the ad that you guys were talking about, but in your words, what is a good network or reputable source for media news that you know is giving 100% facts?
I wish I could give them one. I mean, you got to get online now and do your own research. Like, you really can't believe. And I wouldn't advise you to believe anything that anybody says. Now, I'm a real one. I'll tell you the truth. But guess what? You still need to go research for yourself, because what happens is a lot of times media personalities or even the news, they're going to take a clip of something and then give you their narrative based off of that clip, versus you going and watching the whole entire thing yourself to see what was said before, what was said after. So the best source of news is your own personal research. We're just in a day and age where people can say and do anything and put anything on social media without it even fact checking. So you guys have to do your own research.
I love it. Let's dive into the babies and Planned Parenthood, something you're very, very big on. First, what are your personal hopes for the Planned Parenthood and mothers across the U.S.?
What's a Planned Parenthood mother?
Well, not a Planned Parenthood mother. Like, what's your thoughts?
Yo, you see the way she look, like, what? Like, what you talking about? She gonna get heavy on this one.
For both Planned Parenthood and mothers across the U.S.
Well, I mean, a lot of people, if you know who Angela Stanton is, this is not going to shock you. But if you don't know who Angela Stanton King is, I want every Planned Parenthood across the nation closed down. Because when you think about their strategic placement, 80% of their clinics are in our communities. And I ask people all the time, if abortion is such a good thing for the black community, then why they don't have any abortion clinics at the border? Why they don't have any abortion clinics in white wealthy communities, right? Yep. It's population control. And it goes beyond just abortion. It's what they're doing with the remains of the babies afterwards. Like, it's a sick, twisted thing. It was legalized. It was a way to keep our numbers down. Since abortion was legalized in 1973, we've remained at 13% of the population. We have not grown. And we can never be the majority if we are the minority. And it's just a message that I'm never gonna stop preaching, because like most of us my age, we were raised with abortion being legal. So a lot of us don't see nothing wrong with it because it's just been legal, it's been a part of life. But at one point slavery was legal too. So when you begin to break down Planned Parenthood, the founder, who Margaret Sanger was, what their intention was to basically eradicate the black community. They wanted to get rid of us.
Right.
And that's why we don't see the KKK no more, right? They don't have to show up to our door in hoods anymore because they've convinced us to terminate life before it even begins.
I got some facts. I got some research I pulled up, and I want to get your thoughts on this. According to the NCRC, the black wealth gap in the U.S. is substantial and persistent. In terms of average wealth in 2022, the average wealth for white households was $1.5 million compared to $352,000 million for black households. 40% of black mothers were single compared to only 14% of white mothers. So would it be safe to explore that abortions are not the main issue and that fathers and black men in the household would aid with both the income gap and, the black community rising up?
First of all, before she give her little spill on that, the income gap conversation is weak because women don't want to do the hard jobs that men do. And that's one of the main reasons. And another reason is women are more agreeable. Men aren't. If we feel as though that we're not getting paid our just due, we're gonna leave for a better position, or we're gonna demand that we get paid a certain amount of money, or a promotion, or whatever the case may be. Women are 9 times out of 10 cool with what they get. It's just a biological thing in that sense too. But also, the main thing is they don't want to do the jobs, the hard jobs that women take up mostly. I'm not saying easy jobs, 'cause I'm not saying every job that a woman does is easy. I'm just saying they do more desk work, teachers, CNA, nurses, things like that. Doctors, that's like a hard job. But they're not welding ships and, going on building skyscrapers and buildings and things like. They're not doing the hard job. That's why the pay gap is the way it is. Another thing that she said was men not being in the home. Women gave up men being in the home in the 70s for welfare. That was literally the outcome of the Welfare Act. Was we'll give you welfare, we'll help you, we'll pay your bills, we'll give you food, just enough to survive, and you can't have a man in the home. So women did that. And so at the end of the day, they could blame men. And I'm not sitting there saying you can't hold men today accountable, but what I'm saying is the start of that, because families were together back in the day, and they were much larger. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day. Now all of that is gone because they gave up the man being in the home. Nowadays, it's just out of control, to be honest with you. The whole dating scene and everything is just out of control. A lot of women nowadays get married for the benefits. They hoping to marry a rich nigga and divorce him in a year or two and get a check. Everything is based off checks and shit.
I mean, I'm going to put the blame on all things. We need to touch every issue if we really want to be about that saying Black Lives Matter. We could torch it over to the black men and we can blame them But at the end of the day, you can't get black life without a black man, right? I've said this before. Take Kimora Lee Simmons as example. Kimora Lee Simmons got 4 kids, right? I think one of them white, one of them Mexican, I don't know. One of them might be Italian, one of them might be black. You can't get black life as a black woman. Yeah, we black, but you came from a black man, right? Black life comes from a black man. So we can't throw the black man away, abort the black baby, transition our sons, and then think that we saving black life. That ain't how that works.
Right, and listen, I'm not here to argue with you. I am definitely in support of everything you're saying. And I feel like we can't just rely on Angela to fight the good fight for all of us. If you're gonna be on the forefront for babies and the black community and keeping our children, then we need another Angela on the forefront for the incarceration. We need another Angela on the forefront for black men being at home. But I'm just trying to understand where you're going with the situation about abortions, when I feel like that's like a bigger problem, though, because abortions is a big deal, but we really need black men at home.
Bro, abortion shouldn't be a big deal, though. And it wouldn't be a big deal if y'all taught responsibility, if y'all, well, not taught, but preach responsibility over you can just get a plan B or you can get an abortion. Like, they make getting an abortion like it's just like, I don't know, eating breakfast or something. Like, just get an abortion. Like, it's, bro, look up the process of abortion. It's a cruel situation, bro. It's just inhumane, bro. It should be illegal, to be honest with you. But they'll always forever bring up, the exceptions, the things that happen, but rarely. They're going to always bring them up. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of us nowadays are just being irresponsible. And that's just the gist of it. Like, you can literally, they literally, the same way they have abortion and they use that so-called, I won't even say technology to abort a baby, they have plenty of different options for you to be on birth control. They got condoms. They got so many different ways for you to be safe. So you should not get pregnant because they have all the technology for you not to get pregnant. But they're choosing to, just let niggas run all up in them, all crazy. Because understand, bro, women control access to sex. Unless the exception. But women control access to sex. If a woman says yes, you're getting the sex. If she says no, you're not getting the sex. So sex doesn't happen without a woman agreeing to have sex. So they can put all the blame they want on men, but ultimately it falls on you. Because this doesn't even happen without you, and you can easily tell a man, no, you don't got a condom or no, we want to do another song. But they don't. They do the irresponsible thing, let a nigga, and let nigga don't even tell the nigga to pull out. Nah, nothing me. Now you getting pregnant now. Oh, man, it's so out of control.
With these wives.
Well, you can't get black men if you gonna abort them. He gotta be born first. And then after he born, he gotta remain a black man. You can't transition him. You can't chemically castrate him, right? We have a job to do. We birth black men, right? So if we want black men back in the home, if we have to begin to respect, if we want to restore the value of black life, it begins in the womb. We all have to do our part. Like, this ain't a part where we can toss the ball. Like, we gotta come together and make this shit happen. And we all need each other. We need the mama, we need the daddy, and we need the babies. Because guess what? We ain't gonna live forever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 20, 30 years from now, I may not be able to sit on this stage, but guess what? I brought 5 lives into this world to carry the torch. We have a responsibility to reproduce, to protect, to maintain, to preserve black life.
I love it. 100% love it. I love it. I love it. So before we leave off that subject, now with the amount of mothers who are raising children, how can we fix that area where they're going to have these babies like without men with them?
Well, that's why. And listen, a lot of people tell you, they'll say, oh, well, you don't need to bring the baby into the world if you a single mama. or if the daddy ain't gonna be there, but you could have the baby and be married and the daddy get in a car wreck and die the same day, right? Or you could be with the daddy and he could die the next day, right? We have a responsibility as women to love and protect our children. And I've been that single mom. I mean, getting out of prison with nothing, having to scrape 2 nickels together, 5 children to raise. Nothing has been more rewarding than raising those children and giving them life. So what we have to do when it comes to supporting black women is create organizations like the one I created, Auntie Angie's House, right? And I want an Auntie Angie's House everywhere there's a Planned Parenthood, because the question is, in our community, are you really giving them a choice if Planned Parenthood is the only place that they have to go? What if she want to keep the baby? Why can't we have a center across the street where she can go there and we can help her until she get on her feet? Because I've saved, to this day, 94 babies just through my advocacy. This is just giving these women support. And they weren't bums, like they just needed help for a little bit. Sometimes you 9 months pregnant, maybe you can't work. Right. Maybe the baby daddy did leave. Well, that's what it means when it takes a village, right? Our first option shouldn't be to execute our children. We're the aunties, we're the cousins, we're the uncles. Like, when are we gonna bring this thing back together and understand that if we want to restore black life, save black life, preserve black life, it's on us. Like, politics, I use that as a tool, but politics has never helped me in anything that I've really done successfully for my community. Like, we don't need politics to fix our community. We can do it ourselves.
Facts, man. We're going to end it with that, man. They had a little bit more than they was talking about. If you want to go check it out, you can go check out Live with Carisha. That was a dope-ass interview. She's dope. She's doing some dope things, and she just was just keeping it real, bro. Just simple, you know? And she touched on a lot of topics that I care about, you know, because it's important, bro, because they be lying. And it all goes back to politics in a sense, because they're the ones that's pushing these narratives. Like, literally, the whole 2024 election, that was one of the main things that Democrats pushed, was reproductive health. They're trying to take your right to, you know, your body, your choice, or whatever they were saying. It's all manipulation. It's all demonic. And they were manipulating people, had them out there in the streets with their little signs, all their little paid protesters and shit. But they don't tell you that the black community is the ones that abort the most babies. You know, so that was the goal. Like, that was the goal, you know, when it all started. You know, and it's like, yo, bro, how could you go along with a thing that literally was made to extinct you? That's my thing. But more importantly, like, bro, I just got a soul, bro. I just like when I had my oldest son 15. I had him when I was 20. I had him when I was 20. I definitely wasn't ready to be no dad. I was still ripping and running. But I didn't even think about an abortion. Like, that wasn't even on my mind. It was like, damn, I fucked up. And, you know, I had to deal with it. And now I got a 15-year-old son. And listen, all I'm saying is this. That shouldn't be your first option at all. It shouldn't be an option. Now, the whole exceptions things, I can understand that. You know, like, I can understand it. Like, I get it. Abortion is just for the sake of getting them because you just had a drunk night or you had an irresponsible night, even though you were irresponsible every single time you did it. Like, it's crazy to me. And what it does to your body is even more crazier. Like, bro, that stuff is sick, bro. It's sick. And it's a whole dark market, too, that's attached to it. Bro, they be doing abortions and they had a guy, damn, Trump talked about it. Trump actually brought this up. I forget the guy's name. I should look it up. He, I forget which state it was in. But basically the baby, they tried to abort the baby, but the baby was still born. The baby was alive and well. And they literally, I gotta look this up, man, because I don't want to say it wrong. It was crazy though. Like, I forget, I'm trying to figure out who it was. Damn. They had a whole video. I think he was on a radio station. Oh, man. Damn. But anyway, he basically said that if a baby was born, like, there's babies that actually still are born. They don't, you know, the process doesn't, the procedure didn't work, and they still are born. And they're talking about just putting the baby to the side, just letting the baby die. Like, sick, demonic shit, bro. I don't care how you try to slice it, bro. And then on top of that, bro, you literally have all of these alternatives. You got family that might take the baby. That's like your first line of, like, you know, I don't want the baby. Can any family take the baby? I'm pretty sure you have somebody in the family that'll take the baby. And then if that doesn't work, then you got adoption agencies who would take the baby, and they would take care of the baby, and there's gonna be a family that would love, that can't have kids and things like that. There's so many options, bro, on the table. So to choose abortion is wild to me. You know what I mean? But I don't want to make this about abortion. But she was saying a lot of dope stuff in that video. Shout out to N.G.L.A. Stanton. She doing some dope shit. She helping women. She's saving lives. She's saving children. I think that's super dope. You know, super dope. But yeah, man, the Democrats is out of control, bro. And they got to be stopped. They got to be stopped. And that's why I hope Trump kills the filibuster, too. Because that's really going to kill their shit. And I want it to happen. You know, but this politics shit, man, people got to really stop being slaves to this politics shit, though. Like, for real, it's, like, out of hand. Like, we're coming to a point where people are damn near, like, about to kill you if you a Republican. Like, just think about that. Like, they put so much hate in people's heart where, like, they genuinely hate you. They don't even know you. Like, you don't even know me. How you hate me? You hate me because I voted for Trump? They tripping. But anyway, man, that was the show for today, man. If you think the show was dope, hit that like button, hit that share button. Also comment down below if you agree, disagree, or whatever, man. If you just want to chat, also hit that subscribe button so you get notified every time your boy drop a dope live video. Hit that notification bell too so you get notified every time your boy go live. This your boy SL550. This is the Never Gonna Lose Again podcast. Until next time, I'm out.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams. I know niggas who played ball and gave it up for lean.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams, but my account in overdraft, I'm about to scream.
Rich man greed,
a poor man prayers.
Every man bleeds,
but look how God made us.
Too many losses, it's only right that we win. Yeah, I made a promise I'm never gonna lose again.